Ladies and gentlemen, day 24. So today I wanted to talk about imitation. I think that imitation is the most underrated skill and path to success that we don't really talk about in our society, and even in the self-improvement space, which I consider myself a part of. So let me give you some context on how this idea popped into my head. One of my favorite podcasts to watch. I'm gonna make a video about my favorite podcast to watch and follow. Is called It's called My First Million, and one of the recent episodes in My First Million, this guy called Shan Puri was interviewing this other gentleman. I've forgotten his name, but he was a phenomenal guest. So what this guy did was he took it upon himself to imitate and copy everything that Warren Buffett was doing, because he had a great interest in becoming an investor. So he worked on Wall Street, and he was quite interested in becoming a value investor, and he thought to himself, what better way to do it than to copy inch by inch everything that Warren Buffett does in his life and in his in his investment strategies. And needless to say that this man has done very, very well for himself and his investment fund. And today, a lot of people hold him in high regard in terms of like investing. I will try to look for his name and maybe put it on the screen up there. So why do I think this is something that's interesting to me, or something that's worth investigating? I think it's because we kind of have an interesting culture where if you start mimicking someone and behaving like them, we tend to look at you and say, hey, why are you doing this? Oh, you are trying to be like that guy. And it has got a negative connotation to it. Even though you're trying to be like a successful person, even though you're trying to be like someone who a lot of people hold in regard, the idea of imitation and copying is looked down upon. It's thought of as less than. But I want to try to change that for myself in my personal life, because I think that by imitating the people that I want to be, or the people in whose shoes I would like to be one day, that in itself will take me one step closer to achieving that. Of course, initially you can copy word for word everything that they're doing, and then slowly with time your own personality is going to like give whatever they're doing or whatever it is that they do its own twist. You're going to, like, I don't know how, but then like suddenly your personality is going to show into those things. So one of the people that I'm interested in imitating is Lex Friedman. He's like a super productive AI scientist, and he has got like a podcast. And the one thing that I wanted to imitate about him the most is the suit. Because if you watch any of Lex Friedman's podcast, or you follow him on whatever platform, he is always wearing a black jacket with a white shirt and a black suit and a black tie. Always. It's like, so then I thought to myself, no, I wanted to. I don't know why. I didn't know what exactly it was about it. Then I thought about it further and further, and then I realized, no, it's the consistency about it. It's the dedication to mastering stuff that he also applies in other parts of his life. If you watch his like life routine and the way that he does things, and the research that he does, the stuff that he works on, all of that like shows up, and it all can maybe like be personified in the black and white suit, where this guy, he always shows up the same way. And I believe that it actually shows that in his life everywhere else he shows up the same way. So I thought about it. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna imitate that. So I also want to start to try like imitating more people, like even fictional characters like Harvey from Suits. there's something about him that's so magnetic, and you're not sure exactly what it is. But then I figured maybe I could start dressing more like him. I could start talking more like him. I could start uh, adopting some of his mannerisms. And the best thing I think that I'm going to be doing about it is that I'm going to give myself permission to be okay with imitating and copying. Because for years and years and years and like thousands of years, that's how human beings have learned and have progressed in society, by just imitating the next best thing that they see, which was like maybe your father and like the people and the tribes around you. But then now that the internet has given us this massive opportunity to see other people in different ways that they conduct themselves, and we're able to see like in great detail the aspects of their life and what they do exactly that leads them to be as successful as they are, despite having like different circumstances, of course. But we have the recipe. We just need to copy it. Anyways, this is video 24 from my 100-day video series. If you're watching this to this point, I really fuck with you. Thank you very much. See you on the next one, video 25, which will mean that we are a quarter of the way through. It feels good, man. Like one of my mentors, Mlungis, commented. They said it feels like we started yesterday. It really does. It really does. And that's exciting. It's exciting stuff.